afternoon, brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Israel of Faith. My name is Brother William L. Dixon. Today we're going to do a lesson entitled Works. The reason why I'm using this word works, because you have works of the flesh and you have works of the spirit. Now, the works of the flesh, as we are going to teach today, is not justified by the Creator. Okay, and we're going to learn that today, that our works are not justified by the Creator. They are remembered, but they are not justified, and we are not justified by our works. For we can have a better word here. For we are not justified by the works. For even Abraham was not justified by his works to righteousness. It was to his son Isaac. It is to the faith covenant that is in Messiah. Okay, let me take my time because sometimes I get ahead of myself. But this is a good lesson, and it's not going to take too long, and I hope that you brothers and sisters will enjoy it. We're going to start in Galatians. We're going to start at chapter 3, and we're going to start at verse 6. We're going to start at verse 6. Now we're going to start at verse 2, brothers and sisters. I just saw something here that's even going to be helpful to us also. So Galatians 3 and verse 2. Galatians 3 and at verse 2. Okay, Galatians 3 and starting at verse 2. Galatians 3 starting at verse 2. Alright. This only I would learn of you. Receive you the Spirit by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith? So right here pretty much kind of takes you to where, this teaching is going. The works of the law are by the works of man. Okay, what I mean by man, his works that he do by way of his flesh. Those works that he do by way of his flesh. Because remember, man was corrupted by way of Satan, and of course his flesh became manifested. Therefore, sin is in man's flesh. All men. For like the Creator said, all men have sinned and come short of the glory of Yah. Alright? But the covenant that is with Moses is, of course, the law. And the law, of course, brings about the works of the flesh. Because if you notice, it says, thou shalt not kill, for example. Well, thou shalt not kill is because man killed. Okay? Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not steal. Why? Because man has all stolen, and it is all done by the works of his flesh. Okay, so now I'm not saying this to say that man cannot go out and do good works and good deeds. Okay, what do we mean? Giving coats, helping out the poor, feeding the poor and homeless, etc., etc. People that need help, teaching people the word. Those are the works that come by way of the flesh. Now, teaching people the word is not by way of the flesh. That's by way of Yah's word and Yah's will. Let me get that correct. But, those things that we do to help others, that is by way of the works of the flesh. And our flesh is corrupt, and we cannot be justified by our works that is of the flesh. It is by our faith and belief in Messiah that we are able to be justified. Okay? Okay. Listen. Okay, 3 and 2. 3 and 2. 3 and 2 again. We're going to 3 and 2. This only would I learn of you. Receive you the Spirit by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith. See, the hearing of faith is that covenant that was established with Abraham that faith covenant that was established with Abraham before you get to the law. Okay? There's two covenants that are vitally important that we must understand. The covenant that was given to Abraham is a faith covenant, faith and belief. Abraham was justified by faith, and of course, his faith was counted unto righteousness. Now, the works of the law, that covenant that is given to Moses, that covenant, of course, is by way of the flesh. The works of the law is by way of the flesh. That's what it is. Okay? We might not, a lot of people may not want to hear it, but it's the truth. Now, don't get it wrong. The words that come from the Creator, they are holy and they are good. As Paul stated, they are holy and they are good. Okay? But man trying to do those words that were spoken by the Creator, as far as the Ten Commandments and Deuteronomy, where it comes to the law, okay, man couldn't do it. Why? Because man is in sin, and if you violate any one of those commandments, you bring about the wrath, and it brings about, of course, death. So that the commandments themselves, you violate any of those commandments, you could be stoned to death, or you could be punished, like a lot of people were punished. The wrath of the Creator comes down on a person who cannot keep the works of the law, because man, of course, is in sin, and man being in sin, sin coming by way of his flesh, he's unable to do that which is, of course, that which is of the works of the law, because we are in sin. We are corrupted by way of our flesh. We are corrupted, i.e., works of the flesh. Now, the works of the Spirit. Okay, the works of the Spirit is the word that comes from the Creator. So when the Creator came to Abraham before Moses, not only was Abraham not circumcised, okay, but also he received the covenant of faith, okay, before he was circumcised. Why? So that the word of Yah could be go through in him. He can be the father of many nations. Okay? So all that is in Abraham is done by way of Yah's word and Yah's will. Our Creator's word and his will in Abraham. Which means all that is done in Abraham is by way of faith. Although Abraham did do works. Let's not forget, he didn't do works, but he did works. But his works, remember, we're not justified. Abraham is not justified by his works. Okay? Listen. Galatians. Alright. Verse 2. This only would I learn of you. Receive you the Spirit by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith? Are you so foolish, having begun in the Spirit? Are you now made perfect by the flesh? See, this is what Paul is telling us. We can't get caught up into what we see. We can't get caught up into the flesh. Our works by way of the flesh is not how we are justified to the Creator. It is by way of faith. Okay? Have you suffered so many things in vain, if it be yet in vain? He therefore that minister to you the Spirit, meaning that they received the word of the Spirit, okay, because this was brought to the people in Galatia, talking about Messiah, and work miracles among you. Do Messiah by the works of the law or by the hearing of faith? Okay? It is by the hearing of faith. See? It had to be by the hearing of faith, because Yah's word and Yah's will is by faith. It is by his word and his will. His word and his will come to pass. I.e., Messiah is called word of life. Okay? Word as in John chapter 1 and at verse 1. Okay? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yah, and the Word was Yah. Okay? Alright? Of life. 1 John chapter 3 and at verse 1. Okay? Let's remember. 1 John chapter 3 and at verse 1. Okay? This is where we find out that not only is he the Word, but of life. That life, of course, is eternal. Okay? Listen. Alright? Verse 6, Galatians 3 and 6. Even as Abraham believed Yah, okay? Abraham believed the Creator, okay? And it was accounted to him for righteousness. The key word is righteousness here. So that the righteousness of Yah is about us believing by way of faith in the Creator's word that goes by way of Messiah. Comes to us by way of Messiah, okay? Verse 6, even as Abraham believed Yah, and it was accounted to him for righteousness. Know ye therefore that they which are of faith, the same are the children of Abraham. So, it is not just i.e. for example, a group of people on solely only, for example, the people of Israel. They're not the only ones. The name Israel is by way of Yah's word and Yah's will. Jacob changed, the Creator changed Jacob's names to Israel, okay? He changed name, Abram's name, Abram to Abraham, okay? He gave Isaac the name that he gave Isaac. Why was all this done, brothers and sisters? Because the word of Yah was in them, brothers. Okay? In our fathers, I'm talking about brothers. In our fathers. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay? And Joseph. And Frame. The word came to them. The word of Yah came to them. Okay? Starting with Abraham. Alright? And then Isaac. Well, the Creator gave Isaac that name. He gave him the name Isaac. And then, of course, Jacob, of course, his name was changed to Israel. But Yah's word and Yah's will is in them. That blessing that was put on them was given to them by the Creator. Starting with Abraham and on through to all that with the word came. See, they were no longer under the word and of man. They were no longer under the works of man. They were under the word of the Creator. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So that we understand the covenant that was started with Abraham continued on to this day. This is why we must believe in Messiah by way of